Oh, get ready. There's a train coming. Hope you got your ticket to get on board. Y'all know about that Curtis Mayfield. Let me sing it again. People get ready. There's a train coming. Hope you got your ticket to get on board. Something like that. Man. Welcome to my morning cup of coffee. This is your man Rico. And I was up earlier, but I'm doing some work and also still processing. And don't put, if you're still drinking coffee, it's 10 o'clock, and some places they're still having a cup of coffee, and some places they're just finishing up their cup of coffee. But continue, by all means, continue to sip. I'll do all the talking. In case you've been living under a rock, we receive confirmed, unconfirmed, or it seems like it's confirmed news that social media juggernaut, even an icon, social media influencers, they want to call them. Kevin Samuels reportedly passed away last night. And responses have been many and far and wide, right? But I want to start off by saying this real quick. For me, there's been a loss, I guess in the world of, entertainment and social media. My hometown of Memphis, Tennessee, a well-known figure in the radio broadcasting and even music, passed away. Name is Bobby O.J. Shout out to his family, condolences to his family, his children, his friends, and everyone in the city of Memphis. That true Memphis legend, true Memphis icon, true Memphis icon in the radio broadcasting industry, was certainly a name that people did not know. It was all over the place. And he all the honors and accolades that he achieved over his 44 years in the business or such. I think it was 44 years in Memphis or something like that, but in a long time. He's 68 years old. And so that story can be found in all media platforms. And so I'm processing that, and because I'm from Memphis, so I called into his radio show all the time. Even when I was young in college, I called. So for about a good 30 years, I was calling and giving my opinions to that morning show. Even they had about 4 and 5 people in the studio. So then it dwindled down to him and one other person. Then for the past, 10 years or so, just him. And so in the studio, taking care of the business. So shout out to Bobby O.J.'s family, friends, his current wife, Miss Kim, and everybody. And for those who are into social media, Kevin Samuels, again, media just juggernaut, social media juggernaut, took it by storm, what some people believe. But he started off years ago as doing fragrances, men's fragrances and stuff. You go back and check out his old videos. So he built up to it, and he switched around, rebranded himself into this person that was on everybody's lips, everybody's minds, about his perspective, his message. And people are still reeling. There are people who are still in disbelief that this has actually happened, and it happened so suddenly. It did. Because he just had he did a show, I think last night, or the night before that. People just watched the show. And there was one he was talking about when he added Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. He was taking questions and calls from all of them. There was something, I don't think he had ever done that. And he was just making moves. And so I don't want to concentrate or even hardly go into the ugly part of the comments that people are leaving. I'm going to get to that in a minute. I want to get to y'all. I want to share with you the stuff that made him great in such a short period of time that a lot of folks got to know him. I was having a conversation with my good friend to the end, Mary Max, and I was sharing with her the life and legacy of Otis Redding. You know, even Sam Cooke. And some people believe in other communities, Richie Valens and you know, these artists who make a huge impact in maybe like 2 or 3 years. You're like, dang, we thought they were in the business like, man, 12 to 15 years, 20 years. No. Otis Redding, 26 years old. Died 67, I think. Plane crash with him and the original members of the funk soul band, the Barcades. He really started popping off like 65. From like 65 to 67, that dude made such an impact in soul music that he was automatically given the title of King of Soul. Sam Cooke was referred to as Mr. Soul. He said, well, what makes these people so impactful? I think it's their body of work that they leave. I think it's their body of work in such a short amount of time. Tupac, I'll say him, impactful. Even today, people still mention him as if he's still walking around, but when you mention it, it's so relevant. And so I said all that to say this is the same thing going to be for Kevin Samuels. His birthday had born in 1969, the same year I was born, but they keep reporting that he was 56. No, he's 53, like me. And he was so impactful, so soon and so quick. So when y'all have to understand, a lot of times these folks who are young and they make such an impact so quickly, and then somehow they're taken away so soon. I always look at them as having been given an assignment. They were given assignments that a lot of us wouldn't know anything about. If you're following me. Kevin Samuels was given an assignment, in my opinion. And he successfully carried out that assignment. Hence why when his work was done, it was, you know, we don't control when the work is done. The giver of the assignment controls when the work is done. Why was he so significant? He was just on social media, right? It also is a testament to how powerful social media is or can be. When all else fails, when the mainstream media doesn't want to put you on, well, the social media can put you on, and you don't need them for anything. And what he did was he used his own intelligence. He figured that thing out. He worked it. And boom, the explosion all over social media. His name is on a list of just about every citizen in this country. Good morning, how y'all doing? And he made an impact, to say the least. Putting it mildly, made an impact. So what was the assignment? Well, we got it. We listen to it every night on this show. We listened to how he broke it down so plainly, what other people have tried to do for the past 60 to 70 years when he spoke to our people. You can name anyone of the so-called black leaders that you admire, be it from Minister Farrakhan to, you know, I think Malcolm even tried, Dr. Khalid Abdul-Muhammad, Dr. Claude Anderson, Dr. John Henry Clark. Everybody tried to to try to use their voice, and they did a good job, but there was something that was missing that they did not do, that Kevin Samuels dared to do, which is what compelled him and skyrocketed him to the level of success that he had. That is, he questioned the behavior of black women. He put black women's behavior on trial, something that no other, you name them, Dr. King, nobody ever questioned the behavior of black women. And did it so eloquently and so strategically, using something that when black men have conversations with women, they rarely bring up this piece right here. That is statistical data. And with his own brand of humor, because people like to be tuned in to a little, this much of drama so they can hear the facts. And that's what he did. He was able to do something that no other man or woman could do to really pierce the psyche of today's modern women, or women, how they've always behaved, or program they've always been on, the masses of women. Of course, not all, but y'all know what I'm talking about. So I'm not going to waste any of my time talking about not all. I'm not retarded. And I hope you aren't either. And so he began to question, because also men have always been questioning about their behavior and what are men doing? Why aren't y'all doing this? And blame men, blame men, blame men. And in the black community, it became a part of that. Well, black men ain't this. Black men aren't leading. Black men are falling off their this. Black men. And so he said, well, let's ask the women. And that's what he did. Not only just ask the women, let me ask this particular group of women. That is the professional, the PhD, the attorney, the anesthesiologist, the successful entrepreneur. Those are the people who called his show. And he always mentioned, this is the foundation. People who watched his shows. His foundation was always reuniting the black family. He said it on so many occasions. Reuniting the black family. You can't just say, hey, we need to be together. Just like any doctor, any therapist, you have to do what's called a social history. After you've done the social history of the psychosocial assessment, you have to then write up a treatment plan of action, of goals and objectives. And that's what he did when it came to black women. He did a psychosocial history, then he wrote up a treatment plan and a plan of action, and he used the therapeutic model that he used. I'm just coming because I've been counseling and doing therapy for 25 years. He used what is called cognitive behavioral therapy. Well, Rico, how does that work? Well, cognitive behavioral therapy is basically goes like this. Let's say for the women, I want to get married one day. I want to get married. And so the question that the therapist would ask, so what path are you walking to make sure that becomes your reality? So every night, those women who called in, who thought that they were on the path of getting a husband, he would ask them, well, are you doing this? What about that? And then women would realize, like, damn, I'm not doing any of these things, talking about I want a husband, and I'm not following the natural order of things as it relates to how to get a successful husband. Now, he even brought in the terminology of the term high value man. And he broke it down what it meant. People just came out. He's saying that people don't have value. He just saying average people don't have value. He never said that. He said this is a particular group of men, the high earners, the high rollers, the men of a particular economic status and educational status. They have this or a group of men. Y'all know it's not about just money. It's about behavior and particular laws of this group of men. And he mentioned these men is because these are the men that every other woman is black woman or woman, period. But we talking about our community. They always want a man that makes what? I want him to make about $200,000. He need to have this, that, and the other. So he would ask them, are you qualified to have a man like that? Because these dudes walk differently than your postman, than your high school teacher, than your mechanic. Y'all don't want your high school principal. You don't want the mechanic. You don't want the man that come and fix your drain. You don't want the blue collar brothers. All of you, 15 million of you want those 1% black dudes. And so that's what he was saying. And so him telling them that harsh truth that all of you don't qualify for this level of men. Maybe you need to try, quote, regular guys. And the women don't want that. And they see what he was doing was teaching black men the nature of today's modern and feminist black female. And so that ruffled some feathers, a lot of feathers. That ruffled the feminist community's feathers. That ruffled the beta male simp of black men feathers, because, oh no, he making black women mad. He attacking all black women. And then he ruffled the LGBT's community's feathers with these facts and statistics or statistical data. And so they were having conversations. The ladies would call. On average, this brother would have at least 15,000 people a night tuning into his show. I'm breaking all this down so y'all can understand what his message was, what his program is about, because we've heard all of the myths and misconceptions and misunderstandings out of people's hurt feelings. But take it from one and many who actually watch the shows and watch the videos. I know what he's talking about. So when I hear people say he around there demeaning women, he's disrespecting women, he talks horribly to women, I like, y'all are tripping. So that lets you know that the agenda makers had been triggered. Because what y'all don't understand is, from the beginning of time, or the beginning of our introduction to the European, in order to keep black people oppressed and subdued, you have to make sure that the black man and black woman, come on somebody, are always divided. See, black folks have been pulled into debates and arguments that had nothing to do with us. Our issue as a unified front was freedom. Still should be freedom. But we got sidetracked. We had people pulling us into crap like abortion rights. Ain't that interesting that they pull black women into that foolishness? But during the days of 200 and 300 years of cattle slavery, the enslaved African women never had a right to their bodies, never had a right to choose whether or not they wanted to get pregnant or to carry a baby when the plantation owner and the overseer decide to rape them at will and force them to produce. Isn't it funny how we pulled in that had nothing to do with us? Then number two, the feminist movement. That too was a debate and an argument between the white man and his white woman. But black women who were walking hand in hand with their man during the civil rights movement and marching, he got in her ear and told her, your man is oppressing you too. Your man is oppressing you too. And so she bit that apple. She took her hand away from the black man and started holding the white woman's hand. And what's the third one? LGBT. Y'all think there's ever been gay black folks in the black community way before this movement of LGBT? We got pulled into all three of these movements and it had nothing to do with us. And black women, meaning y'all got pulled into this foolishness. Even as your own race crumbles and the white woman's race continues to prosper and grow. See, the Hispanic community ain't studying that shit. Jewish, Italian, they're all doing them. But the black women who want to form a sisterhood with this white woman are getting the short end of the stick. Now, she personally, as a black female, is getting grants and job promotions, but her race is crumbling. While those white women and Muslim women and Asian women, while their families are flourishing, and those women have husbands. See, they're still in line with what makes a community powerful. That is a family. And black women were suckered out of that. And that's so far gone now that they think family is a woman and children. A family is a woman who goes into a woman who goes into a sperm bank and just get us some cheer. Still needing a man, but saying I don't want a man. Y'all following me? See, Kevin Samuels pierced through all of that. Something that those other leaders those other men who were considered our leaders in the black community could not do, because maybe they didn't want their money train to stop. Maybe something, but he went there, and guess what? He played into the very nature of how women truly are. A lot of y'all guys don't understand. And it's not about disliking our women, or I'm sorry, black women, because they stopped being our women a long time ago when they started to hold hand with the white woman and started looking at us like we are their enemies. Stupid group of people. Stupid. Now they're sitting around here, least married, the most children out of wedlock. You did it to yourselves because you didn't follow the natural order of things. We're all supposed to be with our groups like everyone else is with their group. Kevin Samuel pierced into that weird logic, and it upset a lot of people, but also brought a lot of women to his platform, and it brought a lot of men. And he was talking to those thousands of people every night, every day on Instagram. 1.2 million people, 1.2 million subscribers on Instagram, 1.6 million on YouTube, and his Facebook page. Thousands more on the Facebook page, and they had what's called Kevin Samuel fan groups. It was all over the place. Not one assistance from mainstream media. I'm gonna get on them in a minute. And see, people didn't want to know what he was doing because it's going against the agenda to always divide black men and black women. And black women, and I'm gonna keep talking about y'all because y'all claim to be so empowered and so intelligent and so red, but y'all can't even see that y'all are being used to destroy our race. Y'all are in all these positions where you can turn our race around. You were given these positions. You were given the positions in the boardroom. You were given all the positions that white men would never give over white men. But white men gave y'all these positions. Yeah, you went to school, but you went to school practically free. Black men, just like it, were treated like every other man. Everything we got, we had to get it on our own. We literally got it from the mud. Even black men don't have nothing. They get something. The first person they give it to when they get it is you. But you didn't see that value because he didn't look like that 1% or 3% of black men. That's what they meant by high value men. There was a whole different class of men. And all of y'all thought just because of your degree, because of your high earning, that man was supposed to pick you. And then you was wondering why men who make $300,000 and mess with Sexy Keisha in the projects. Well, Sexy Keisha in the projects understood that what Kevin Samuels put out, what Kevin Samuels did was say out loud what we always thought. But due to the fact that majority of black men were raised under women, were afraid to say it. And he brought it out front, right? Any man that is a man that's worth his weight in salt or gold wants a feminine, fit, sweet, cooperative woman. But due to the fact that in the last 50 years or 55 years that black males have been raised by black women, they think it's normal to have a woman that's argumentative, fussy, out of shape, and still think she fine, even though she built like a bus car, a train bus car. Even though she got more flubber than a pack of Bubba Young. You know, even though, yeah, you got a PhD, but you're also FAT. And they think that our penis is supposed to get hard over a degree. Where they do that at? That doesn't happen, but a lot of black men were suckered and socially engineered out of that. And so Kevin Samuels said, no, you too have value. Because see, none of the leaders, y'all know who they are, that none of the black leaders ever told black men that you have value as a human being. They always told you your value is based on how your woman sees you. You know how Christianity tells the world and tells black folks, ain't nothing without King Jesus. Ain't nothing without the Lord. See, that kind of foolishness, no one believes that except for the enslaved mind African and American, or black American. And Kevin Samuel pierced through that and told black men, you are valuable. You're the hunter-gatherer provider. You're the one making it possible for these loudmouths to even exist. And they didn't like that. Going against the agenda. Keep following me, y'all. Going against the agenda. And what is the agenda? Continue to keep black men and black women divided. And the way you do that is you reenact the Pocahontas situation. Pocahontas is the reason that the village was slaughtered. The movie Avatar is the story of Pocahontas, a $1.2 billion movie based on the actual story of Pocahontas. And they trained black women to be the Pocahontases of our race. Let me tell you what she did, Pocahontas. Pocahontas already, in her culture, in her tribe, she already had her husband picked out for her. No, they were doing their thing, right? All of a sudden, John Smith, the white man, showed up, the pilgrim. And she messed around and started fooling with the white man. And he convinced her, and like, they got together and stuff. Now, she volunteered and did this now. He didn't rope a dope her or nothing. She said, oh my goodness, the white man, blonde hair man, pink face. And now her folks had already told her that he was the enemy. But somehow she saw his humanity. And she invited him into the guarded fortress of their culture. And guess what John Smith did? Invited the people with the pistols and the cannons and the bombs or whatever, the cannons, invited them in, and they slaughtered and beheaded the village. Do you understand? And that's what Avatar is about. Beautiful space or land outside of even space. She had her husband picked, but she saw the white man. And boom. And guess what the black chick is? She's the Pocahontas of our race. All of them are trying to aspire and be great just so a white man can pick them. And so therefore, they don't know how to just go out and pick them a white man and go on. They want to bring him in and give him the key to the city and the key to how you can further destroy our race. And Kevin Samuels poked through that. He was saying like, look, I want to see us have a black family, have some black babies. He said it often on this show. So that's why I didn't pay any attention to when people saying he's disparaging black women. But he also spoke 3 years talking to men about their bad behavior. No one ever mentions that. Because you know why? Men are men. We take critique and we see what we need to do, or we take it and move on. Or some of us take it and try to improve. I watched a lot of his stuff. And I said, you know what? He's right. I need to shape up and get myself together, get some things together. And a lot of young men need to hear this. And a lot of young men heard him. And I think that pissed off the agenda. Because, see, Kevin Samuels single-handedly changed the conversation of how we present ourselves, or how young men present themselves as well, how men, period, especially black men, presented themselves when they're confronted with these feminist arguments. He was an extension of what women in this country hate, that is the manosphere, the black manosphere. I know a lot of people try to separate themselves from it, but now more than ever, the manosphere is needed. Because that type of conversation continues to go on, and that influencing young men to go out and don't become somebody's baby dad in high school, don't become somebody's baby daddy in college. You go out and build yourself, educate yourself, create a business, go travel, go see the world. That is what the conversation is from the manosphere. And a lot of women with this Napoleonic, egotistical, maniacal, self-centered psychology believe that they own and control black men, because a lot of the mothers, hold on a minute, a lot of the mothers of sons, they program their boys to be only loyal to them. That's why you have a lot of grown-ass black men in their 40s and 50s can't seem to shake that. How you doing? They can't seem to shake it. And they're making poor decisions. They can't even have decent relationship with other men because they're worried about what the women think. White men didn't give a damn about what white women think, because they understood they ruled the roost. But it's been put on television, it's been put in books, been put in movies that black women run the black neighborhood. And a lot of brothers say, okay, we're running, and look at it, it's a shithole. But then you still somehow want to blame black men for what y'all have been running for the past 50 years with the funding and the support of white zaddy. And Kevin Samuels broke through all of that. But see, the preacher ain't gonna tell you this truth because he want to keep the money, and he'll rather demonize the men and not hold the women accountable. So some people gonna listen to me and say, damn, Rico, well, so the men ain't supposed to do nothing? We've done what we're supposed to do. We can't fight the white man, we can't fight the black woman, we can't fight the system all at once. Hell. So a lot of guys are saying, I'm gonna go my own way. They call it MGTOW, men going their own way. Then another group of men said, save yourselves, black man. Because you know what, it's not about retreat, it's about moving on and creating your legacy elsewhere. It doesn't necessarily mean with another race of women. You go find agreeable women with another culture, but they're still black women. That's my thing. Because this American culture got women in general sick. This feminist foolishness. And he was teaching these young men how to spot that feminist language. That's what I do. I try to teach young men. I listen for that language. When they use words like misogyny and sexist and oppressive, get away from her. Get away from her. Do not talk to her anymore. Don't you think that men are trying to... No. It's because you have a penis. When they use language like that, get away from them guys. Don't talk to them ever again. Go to friendly, feminine, cooperative, and fit women. That's what Kevin Samuels was teaching. And he was teaching the women, look in the mirror. You don't have a man because of you. There are plenty of men out here. All the women they were doing before he came along. Well, you know, ain't no eligible men out there. They either in jail, in gangs, or they gay, or they just insane. Just pure insanity. That's what Kevin Samuels did. Amongst other things. He did a lot to positively impact the culture. Because people always like to say, well, what someone does for the culture. Now, this is really a nice and very needed jolt for the culture. And I'm like this. People, y'all can say what y'all want to say online. You know, it's like that. But I'm not going to have no conversation about this dude unless we're heaping praises on him. Did y'all hear what I said? We're not going to have no conversation because when he was alive, you already tried to gay him away. You tried to make irrelevant by saying, he gay. What the fuck that got to do with his message? Could you disprove his message? Could you disprove the statistical data and the facts? No, you couldn't. So you used deflectionary conversations. Well, he gay. He been married. He been married twice. What the fuck that got to do with anything? Nothing. Until you able to disprove what he was saying, you just became an automatic hater. And that's what he did. Now, is he the only one that was doing this? Of course not. Because a lot of brothers like me, we pride ourselves, but we're not haters. It's like, well, he has the mic right now. Let's support him because he got the mic. And he did. He articulated himself. He presented a good product. It was clean and neat, and it was critical and analytical in his thinking. He had the full package. He did it. And that is what scared the hell out of a lot of people. They couldn't write him off as dumb. They couldn't write him off as stupid. They couldn't write him off as reckless. They couldn't. Because he had support, not just of men, but a lot of women. A lot of women out there needed to hear this, and they showed their appreciation every night with the donations and super chats that they gave him. They showed their appreciation. Some people were like, well, he right here making money off black women's misery and attacking black women. No, he wasn't. And if they gave him money to show appreciation, you know how y'all give all y'all money to the preacher? Because you appreciate his sermon? Well, how come he couldn't make no money? Why do y'all like people who tell the truth to us? Why y'all want us to be poor? Why would y'all want Kevin Samuels to be poor? Why y'all want him to be raggedy? How come he couldn't be nice and clean and have a nice car, a nice home, nice apartment, or whatever he lived in? How come he couldn't live nice? But everyone who doesn't tell you the truth, you give them all your money. You give the preacher all your money. You give these dumbass rappers all your money. You give Walmart, you give these white corporations all your money, no questions. But then Kevin Samuels comes, and anybody who speaks the truth to women's bad behavior, all of a sudden you want them canceled? Y'all even trying to cancel your own female people who tell you about your behavior. Y'all trying to cancel those women too. What about the sisterhood? Yeah, right. If it's not connected to LGBT or feminism, y'all don't care nothing about no black women. You know, he told y'all he inspired black women more than Michelle Obama could ever do. He inspired black women more than Oprah, than Maya Angelou, than any of them. He inspired black women to be better and to understand, look, I'm not all that because I got a degree, because I got a law degree, because I got a fat bank account. Yeah, I got a 2-story house. I got a Mercedes, a BMW. I got all of that, but I still ain't got nobody to go home to. That's why he came up with the concept is buy a dog and die alone with your hard-headed behind. That's where that came from. He didn't wish that you buy a dog and die alone. He just said, if you continue with your stubborn ways and not go ahead and bow down to the pimping of nature, buy a dog and die alone. That's what he meant. And he would ask women their dress size. He would let you know, wait a minute. Because you have a degree, you think all men supposed to bow to your doctorate or your high-level CEO position? Don't nobody care about that. And that's what he was sharing to women. He was sharing to them what men really think. Because a lot of men were not articulate enough to present that. And then you had those who were articulate wouldn't do it. Wouldn't do it because it makes no money telling people the truth. It makes no money to put the mirror in anybody's face. It makes no money to do that. That's why your preachers and your ministers and your imams and none of them, they never tell the truth because it makes no money. Kevin Samuel told the truth and he made money, and that pissed people off. He challenged everybody to be different and to be better. And again, I said he used cognitive behavioral therapy, sometimes reverse psychology. Say, if this is what you want, this is what's needed to be done in order to achieve it. He said it all the time. But so, you know, when they say when you're doing the Lord's work, the devil gets busy. Hallelujah. Come on, build a fence, oh Lord. And he got busy. Because they can't stand to see somebody that's labeled controversial or labeled, they're just giving the label controversial or militant or misogynistic or hey, they can't stand to see them have admirers and fans. They can't stand to see it because they want you to die broke. They want you to be crazy and yelling at cars and like, hey, the white man's the devil. They want you to do that. That's how it makes them feel good. But you couldn't pierce this brother's armor. He was a great influence to young men and older men as well. That dude, no. And of course, I didn't agree with a few things. But let me tell you something about you folks out there that say this statement. I guess you're trying to be neutral, but I still can see right through your ass. Well, you know, he said some things that was right. Hold on a minute, let me stop you right there. He didn't say some things that was right. 95% every fucking thing he said was right, and you know it. But you're going to try to minimize it. It was some things he said. No, he said 95% of the shit he said was right. So don't play, because we hear you. We see you. And for those of you who think you're going to be able to take these mean-spirited, ugly comments you've been making, I saw the memes, and I'm still saying them. I just stopped reading the ugly comments. If you think you're going to be able to, hold on a second, y'all. Can y'all still hear me? If you think you're going to be able to, all this trash y'all writing on social media, I mean, I'm not even going to repeat some of the stuff, but a lot of you are celebrating that he's passed away. If you think you're going to be able to say that to people in their face, you got another thing coming. I'm already hearing people say, you think you're going to talk shit about Kevin Samuels to my face in public? I've been reading it on social. I've been reading that too. Y'all might want to keep it on social media. And I don't think too many folks going to allow y'all to disrespect and disparage this man in person. and there not be some physical, if not some serious verbal conflict going on. So y'all just be respectful. Keep your ugliness, keep your mean-spirited comments on social media. Just keep it there, because this is a serious thing. You know, a lot of us, most of us, a lot of us understood exactly what he was saying, and a lot of people understood his assignment. And so you have people on there, you know, I know why the women are upset, because, you know, women have always been hard-headed since 4 years old. They don't want to hear the truth about themselves, but they love to tell you the truth about you, what they think is the truth. But it's these men out here. You know, I would read Facebook posts and Instagram posts, you know, they're the main one trying to push the game. And now this is what they're saying now that he's passed away, some cats. All these black men out here who are hurting over their leader passing. A lot of them grew up without fathers. So these beta male simps out here crying and weeping over their godfathers, their leaders, their death. I'm like, wow, what's all that about? And number one, let me address that. How do y'all know that even Allah's majority of his followers were men who grew up without fathers? And how come he have to be without a father to support other men? Isn't that weird? Why do you have to be without fathers for men to support other men? So y'all saying all these dudes that like rap music, the gutter rap, the trash rap, they're talking about killing other black men. Y'all never mention if they grew up with a father or not. These brothers that go and watch these weird ass movies is watching men have sex with each other, P-Valley Power, and The Shy, and all this foolishness. Y'all say they grew up without fathers. So how come you got black men and young black men, middle-aged black men, and others noticing the positive message of a black man, all of a sudden they grew up without fathers? You mean we can't be emotionally hurt by the passing of a public figure that passed away like everyone has always been? When Dr. King died, every black person in America was in tears. So you can say they grew up with fathers, they're a bunch of cult followers? What's wrong with y'all? Y'all sound stupid. Then you got the other ones. You know, what did he say? All right, brothers, don't go and drink a cold glass of bleach. Don't slit your wrists yet, brothers, because your leader has passed away. I'm like, wow, what is all that about? Why? Since you couldn't tear down the character of the work of the man, so you start attacking the people who supported him by calling them followers. Why you got to be followers? How come he just can't be admirers of his presentation, admirers of his product, admirers of his message? His message is out there, sending men out to school, sending men out to work, sending men out to go to the gym, sending men out there to be better men. So how was that following a cult, you jackass? See, I'm going to tell y'all what these guys are about, anyway. Let me tell you what that's about. Again, I understand why the women are upset, because women don't like to be told no truth. Hell, they don't like to be told no truth about other black women. But these men that was coming at this man like that, jealousy, pure jealousy. Even those in the black manosphere, jealousy. Because there's no other word, because he wasn't doing anything to harm other men. He wasn't sending men out there to harm women or anything. He was telling these men, get off your ass, go to school, go get a vocation, get a job and climb up the ladder, clean yourself up, work out, groom yourself. That's what he told men. So how is that something to refer to people who admire that as a bunch of fatherless followers? And some of y'all the same ones that see these young guys out here with their pants on their ass and tattoos on their necks and bodies with guns down in their drawers. They need mentors. They need brothers to come out. Y'all the same ones. Call Kevin Samuels followers that range from the high school kid to the CEO of companies. If y'all went on his live, you will see his body of admirers was vast, very diverse. But mainly it was more, I guess, people who were on their way to college or in college or graduated from college. A lot of 97% of the women that called were college-educated women. And by the way, they volunteered to call. So how you gonna, and for those who are offended by anything on YouTube or any TV station or radio station, TV station, you can change the channel. Radio station, you can turn the knob. And YouTube, don't you have to search and log on to somebody's damn page? How you gonna search, log on, search, and then press play on somebody's video and to get offended? Who does that unless you're retarded? Unless you slow? And all of a sudden they need to be banned, or they're the worst person on the planet. And those of you who tried to paint him as like something was bad for the race, you gotta be kidding me. A man telling women or correcting women, you ain't as valuable as you think you are, sweetheart, because you got a degree. And this is how men really think, ma'am. Not because you can't tell men how to think. This is how men think. That is what Kevin Samuels is about. And most importantly, the foundation of all of that was reuniting the black family. Get together with a black man. He'd always ask, you want to be a black man? You want to be with a black man? And ask all the women that called. They would say, yes, I want to be with a black man. Which one? Average brother, or do you want the high percent, the top 5% of top earning men? The 150 to 300,000 to 400,000. And see, a lot of black males had never been spoken to that way. Say, you know what? I'm doing all right at 60, but you know what? I'm finna go ahead and put in an extra 10 hours a week, man. Give me $150,000. Because we live under capitalism. Men need to have money and resources, not just in case they want to have a family or whatever, but for yourself as a man. We don't teach that. Or it's been taught. Obviously, it wasn't reaching these young guys. It wasn't reaching these guys in their 20s and early 30s. But Kevin Samuels reached them, and that pissed a lot of folks off. Hence the ugly responses. Some chick gonna say, did Kevin die alone? Like that was, well, I don't understand that. Then this homosexual by the name of Ernest Owens referred to Mr. Ernest Owens on Twitter. Just look him up, you'll see the tweet. I mean, pure jealousy. The men were just jealous of this guy. And let me tell y'all why. I know I went off track there a little bit. I just kind of went on a rampage there for a minute. A tandem. You know why the jealousy was there? Because it all boils down to money and women. Here's Kevin Samuels, allegedly, reportedly offending all these women. But still he kept thousands of them coming every night. See, let me give you an example of what that is. It's just like you're in high school. You're the 10th grade. And you're trying to be respectful and all this and all that. But women know how to give you no play. But you look around and the dope boy who halfway didn't come to school, he rolled up in the box Chevy. And he had at least two of the little girls that you like standing in his car talking to him. Or if you're one of those guys that say, man, that dude be talking crazy to these females. They still be in his face. And so those guys are like the guy who tried to be the good guy and the sweet guy to the women. They're standing on the side. They're hating on Kevin Samuels. Just like some, you know, it's how Future gets all the women. And somebody like I don't want to disparage him when I say this, like a Russell Wilson might just get one of the women. But Future get all the women. They knowing that he ain't shit, but they still lining up. See, that's how you guys sound. Y'all mad because the guy who speaks honestly to women and tell them to their face, I don't think so. You ain't all that, baby. But come back when you get yourself together, or these are the requirements that you need to meet in order to meet me. He still keep them. They still clamming at his door, and you try to say, you know, I'll be all sweet and gentlemanlike. That's the jealousy right there. Not only is he getting these women, he's gotten all these women's attention, he's also getting their money. And haters hate that. They don't like they don't like to see cats like Kevin win. Telling the truth. See, those who speak the truth don't know how to make no money. I told y'all that, right? And people understand that. Well, you find one that's telling the truth to both the women and the men, and really, I'm talking about that hard-hitting truth that piss you off, but they still keep coming back. See, that's jealousy. And these guys were jealous of Kevin, man. And for you to say, even because they didn't start talking crap after he died, they were talking this lame stuff when he was still around. Then you had some people come on there, that's right, he ain't this, he that. Right, I don't see how they find that dude gay. I'm like, really? But Kevin Samuels, whether he was dead or alive, his message was powerful. And he spoke to, and that message spoke to black men and logical black women, right? And that message from this day forth will continue to be referenced and adhered to more than the teachings of the Bible and what's in the Quran. People are going to adhere to those, going to adhere to his messages more than they do in the Bible, than what's in the Quran. And that's my opinion. Because he pierced the psychology of our community. So he got to the bottom of why a lot of our women are currently single and unmarried, and there's no marriage even activity in their future if they don't change their behavior. And he broke it down to women 27 to 34. He broke that down to the danger zone. And then women 34 to 60 or 35 to 60. What was that? 35 to 45 or 35 to 60 or something like that. He broke it down to no man's land. Boom, 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 boom. It was awesome. He had a great product. And yes, we can hear a bit of all of the people I named. He borrowed from a lot of people. Because people say, he stole this, he stole that. Well, if you ever written a paper in college or in high school, references were used in order to complete your entire paper. So everything in that paper were not your words, so you put quotes. But they were saying he stole stuff and didn't give the people quotes. Okay, be that as it may. I always heard them give quotes or give quotes to people that said stuff that I believe they said it first. But some stuff that he said, hell, everybody said it. So why do you have to use one person? Shout out to this person. Shout out, because that's something just in everyday lexicon. So you have to give shout out to everybody every time he says something. That's stupid. Because people say stuff all the time. But anyway, his presence was impactful. And we are a better community because of his presence. He was given an assignment. And when this assignment was completed, hey, he left the blueprint. No, there's not going to be another Kevin Samuels. It was just him. It's going to be others who are going to put their spin on it and help to continue the teachings that's going on. So I think that's the hope right there. That people continue on. And guess what? There are a lot of young men who heard him, and his videos are still there. And a lot of young women, if y'all want to learn how this done, go check out a lot of his videos. Because he's telling you, and for you women that's kind of missed out on this and the right relationship, and you acting like you too good to date a man who's the garbage man or the postman or the high school principal or the school teacher because he only makes like $70,000 or $60,000 or $51,000 or $45,000. You go ahead on, keep on getting that long line. All y'all trying to get future. The one thing about high value men, 30 years old, 40 years old, they don't like old women. They like young, succulent, tender toned, juicy, feminine and cooperative women. And that's another thing that hurt their feelings. He was told them the truth. The reason a lot of y'all 40-year-old women aren't with anybody because, hey, you're kind of setting your wage. You're not very nice. In his last video, he's saying older women are difficult, and that is the truth. If you're a man with a lot of money and a lot of resources, you have no business arguing or even debating or even compromising with a female at all. And they say money brings more access, and that's what he was teaching. You have all the resources. You don't have to listen to none of this foolishness. Hell, I don't hardly make no money and I don't listen to bullshit. So I can imagine somebody with $20 million to $30 million in the bank. They live a total different existence than I do. I don't listen to foolishness at my level. So I know 100,000, 200,000, 400,000, a million and plus. They ain't trying to hear none of that except for black dudes. Black dudes have millions of dollars and still let black chicks talk shit. It's the weirdest thing. But they were never taught because they were raised by black females. In this society, these empowered and feminists, and I need y'all black men to look up feminists, these anti-black male misandrists, minded. And then it's so bad that in these colleges, universities, they got that feminist training, these pretty, beautiful, pretty young black girls, 18 to 23 years old. And guess what? They ain't gonna have no husbands either. Because one thing about young men that learn, unless you get you an effeminate, beta male simp who believes that the world evolves around women and you won't be able to get to heaven unless you pedestalize a woman, you can get you one of those. Because one thing in the woman's nature that he taught, women don't like pushover men. Sure, they'll be with you, but they don't respect you. And I've learned from my observation, I grew up with a pimp uncle who had hoes. Beating them up in the living room and shit. Where I grew up in, beating them up. Fist to the face, skillet to the head. Had another one beat up a pregnant girlfriend. I'm telling you. But you couldn't pull these women off these men. I said something, well, they probably said, what's something wrong with them? Well, yeah, I guess so. But I'm telling you, I got male relatives. They ain't... They don't present with the smiley, what's up, little mama? Now, they don't. And women won't stay out of their faces. And so what y'all guys need to understand, this gentleman shit, that was created by single mothers. And then you got these fathers that think they're doing the right thing. Some of these simp fathers, well, son, you always respect the woman. Son, you always pull a chair out for the woman. If it's raining, you throw your coat over the puddle so she won't get her shoes wet. Son, you always put a woman for you because man was put here to protect and provide for women. But that was back in the day when ladies were ladies back in the 1800s, in the 1930s and 40s. The mass majority of our women were ladies. In the last 30 years, or the last 20 years, these harlots and thoughts, when they're they around here they still twerking at 36 years old at wedding receptions and shit. With degrees, these women still bending over, shaking their behinds. No, I'm not married. And I'm not married, but I believe in the institution, but no, sometimes not for everybody. But for the mass majority of black women not even be able to find a husband, it's not the men, because the men are there. Black men get married every month. You don't believe me? Ask a white woman. And you don't believe me? Ask a spicy Latina. Shit, if you don't believe me? Ask a cute little biracial chick from the suburbs. Black men get married every goddamn month. So it's not about, like, they're not ready. They're not serious about marriage. No, they don't like you. Because your attitude sucks. And you're out of shape. You're mean. You're frustrated because of your choices. That's what Kevin Sam was telling black men. Know your worth. Know your value. There aren't enough black men to go around. When he told y'all, well, if you think this, how come you act like you don't have a passport? There are a lot of black men all over the world in different cultures. You got Latin black men. You got African black men. You got them all over. If you want to go to Europe, there's some black men in France. That's if you want a black man. Because, see, I'm smart enough to know that I don't have to go outside my race. If I can't run across the woman I like in America or in Dallas-Fort Worth, I don't have to go outside my race. I can just go outside of the culture and find a black woman in another culture. Got it? No, that's to my passport brothers out there who seem to get that confused. They say they want black women, but then they go to Brazil or go to Dominican Republic and go. The first face they look at is the first one that looks like Jennifer Lopez. I thought y'all wanted black women. I thought y'all ain't want to date no more black women in America. So do you mean that in Latin America too? Because black women are all right. But anyway, that's another video. But Kevin Samuels talked about empowerment of the men. And he's surely going to be missed, but his message will not be forgotten. So, but anyway, if anybody would like to talk to me right now, I'll take a few calls. Because I know I'm strolling, but I'll talk to you. You want to ask any questions, go ahead and press that little button. I'll find a spot and I'll chill. If anybody would like to talk to me right now, so quite a few of you are in here. I'm going to put my headphones on so I can hear you outside of this these cars. Matter of fact, I'll go somewhere in the back there so we can really talk. So hit that little red button if you'd like to talk to me. Ask me any questions. Let's talk Kevin Samuels. I got a minute. It's a beautiful Friday. I'm so glad that the rain left, and and contrary to popular belief, there are a lot of people who liked him, a lot of people who admired him and respected him. And I just want to send condolences out to his family and those who actually made friends with him on social media, those who actually met him and got to talk to him and shake his hand in person, and became friends with him. My condolences to all of you. So if, again, I got a minute. If you like to talk, press that little button. I think it's right here. Want to ask me any questions, or you want to share your thoughts on Kevin Samuels? I'll listen without prejudice, and we can have that conversation. Let me give you all a minute as I pull out my little so I can hear you. I'm trying to move to a spot where we don't have that much noise. If you're not outside today, get outside today. It's really nice. And I'm gonna get my jog on after I talk to y'all. But go ahead. I'm finna sit right here, and I'll read some of your comments. And I'll just walking and talking. Okay, I'm gonna get right here. It's a good spot. Come on. Ooh, the sun is gone. Yeah. Good spot. So, if anybody like to talk, Mary Mack said 1.3 million people agreed with what he said and counting. So if anybody like to talk, go ahead and press that button. You can come in. Let me lay this right here while I fix mine. Yeah, let me lay this right here while I'm trying to get these undone, so in case you decide you want to talk to me, go ahead and press the little red dot if you can. Some of you might be at work. And so, if you like to talk, I'm open. Let's have this conversation. Press that little button there and let's talk. Whatever you want to say, I don't mind. But I know I said what I say, what I need to say. So, and just trying to get the word out. So if anybody, I think it's this little dot here. You just press. It should be green or red on your phone or your computer screen. If anybody would like to talk to me, I'll give it a couple of minutes and wait and see who'd like to talk. And I'll read your comments and see what you're saying. Norman said, tell the truth, brother. We need to quit this happy wife, happy life crap. You're correct. Norman said, I thought they liked cougars. Layla said, I love that man. I'm going to miss him. See what we got going on. Norman said, people don't like to hear the truth. Mary Mack said, men in the black community don't understand positive messaging. The last 15 to 20 years have caused great harm to our community. You're right. Again, if you'd like to talk to me, just press the button and we can talk. Ezel Luke Owen says, fucking crazy. These comments, bro. I was so shocked at the mentality of these people. Yeah, Ezel, man. I wasn't really shocked. It was kind of hating when he was here. But it's just interesting. It's just interesting how, and I asked anybody, tell me what it is. What harm did Kevin Samuels do to our community? Let me know when he did a drive-by. Let me know when he got some girl pregnant out of wedlock and left her. Let me know when he walked around with his pants sagging with tattoos all on his neck and arms and disrespected the community. Let me know when he made a rap song that talking about killing ops and shooting up the neighborhood and selling dope to black community. Can y'all let me know what kind of harm did Kevin Samuels do to our race? Please let me know. I want to hear that. If you want to let me know, if you didn't like him, I want to hear that too. Debbie R. Davis said, "Bruh, you preaching," and some of us don't want to hear it. Who is this? Oh, wait a minute. It says, Mary Mack said he went against the narrative of black folks. Norman wants to talk. Okay, Norman, what's good, bro? He said, I can't bring Norman on camera for some reason. Norman tried again. He said, I couldn't bring you on camera. Penny. Try it again, Norman. But whoever else wants to talk, hey, go ahead and hit that button. I want to talk to you too. If you have something you want to say, I want to hear it. Your thoughts on Kevin Samuels. Your thoughts on Kevin Samuels passing away. And if you read any of the comments, especially the ugliness. Let's see, I'm reading some of your comments here. I read that. Okay. Bro, you preaching. Okay. Black Lives Matter made millions off the deaths of black men and then pushed the LGBT, etc. agenda. That's right, Henry Allen, my man. All right. Hold on, let me see who this is. All right. Let me approve. Hold on one second. Let me try this again. Hold on, wait a minute. Let me see, cancel. Should approve. The green button. Okay, yeah. Norman, hold on. Hold on, Norman. You know, y'all line up and get ready. Mary Max,
Are you
what's
there?
good?
Are you there? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. Are you there? Watch out, Shanti. Are you there? Are you there?
I think with Kevin Samuels, he was right on time for a lot of black folks. It's just hard for black folks to take in that kind of truth that Kevin was speaking. So, like Malcolm, his speeches will live on through video, and people will eventually pay attention. Hopefully, it won't be too late because the last 15 to 20 years have been such a detriment to the black community as far as behaviors are concerned. And a lot of people have taken on the negativity in the black community. Not all, for the people who want to say not all, but for the most part, our community, the people in our community are doing us in with the negativity through TV, through radio, all of this social media stuff. That's what Kevin was speaking against through, when with the I hate to call them hoochies, but the behavior, the thoughts,
Mm-hmm.
the thoughty
Mm-hmm.
behavior, the wretchedness that has started to infuse into the community, and so you have even the black women with with the bachelor's degrees, like you said, who were at the wedding shaking their ass
Mm-hmm.
in front of all of those guests, just getting down on the floor looking like they're about to crawl to somebody, shaking
Yep.
their ass. I
Yep.
mean, that behavior has been infused in our community, and that's what he spoke against.
Yes.
Females aren't being ladies anymore,
Yeah.
and that's the image that people are seeing, and the black females don't realize what imagery does for our community, and so he was speaking against all of that. Same
Yeah.
thing with the men, the black men walking around sagging, not
Mm-hmm.
caring about their appearance, not caring about what they do in life, the impact that they leave behind. So yeah, I think that's
Mm-hmm.
what he was speaking to, and I think it will be missed. And his videos are out there for people to soak up, so eventually they'll make it around to him. 1.3 million and counting agree with him that subscribers. So he had the minds of a lot of people.
Yeah, now I think that frightened a lot of people because people like him are not supposed to reach. And let me say this, while you're on here, because I didn't get a chance to say it. Isn't it interesting how um, all of these black media outlets never mention his name? All the hip hop morning shows, all the black Madame Noir, Black Entertainment, D.L. Hughley, everybody's Mark Lamont Hill. They're all
Roland
mentioning
Martin.
him.
Yeah,
Roland
yeah.
Martin. They're all mentioning him passing, but out of either giving orders or just jealousy, The Breakfast Club had the nerve to mention his passing, but they had every opportunity for 2 years to have him on their show like they had everybody else. The Breakfast Club was always believing that they're doing something for the culture. Well, Kevin Samuels was for the culture. He contributed something very positive to the culture, but they never had him on the show. None of these hip hop radio places or hip hop stations nationally never invited him on as a guest. He made his way, he made his bones through social media.
And
And
Kevin
none.
spoke
Go
against
ahead.
the narrative that all of those people were putting out. He was talking about the black family, including man
Yes.
and woman. So,
Yes.
of course, they weren't going to have him on.
That's right. And yeah, exactly. So, they need to be called out. How come y'all talking about him now? Y'all had every opportunity to ask that man to his face on your Hot 97s, your K97s, your 97.9 The Beats here in Dallas, your K104 here in Dallas. You had, and all your radio station that all your children listen to and all that, those old ass DJs at these stations. Now, these are hip hop stations, but the DJs in their 40s and 50s. Let
Right.
that sink in. And so the on-air personalities in their 40s and 50s playing a lot of 13-year-old music. And
Right, right.
so,
Yeah.
but they would have this man on who was literally changing the minds of others. So I wanted to put that out there. And y'all pay attention, call these bastards out. Bunch of hypocrites, y'all were jealous, or you were given orders not to have this particular black man on. So anyway.
Because he talked about manliness.
That's right. Masculinity, talking about heterosexuality as being reign supreme. And so we know that goes against the agenda. And so anyway,
Exactly.
well, thank you,
Thank you
Mary
for
Max.
moralizing him. Yep. Thank
That's
you.
right. Peace. Hello? Okay. Anybody else like to come on? Thank you, Mary Max. Anybody else like to come on and share their thoughts? Ted Edward, what's up, bro? Come on in. Zook, come on in, Luke. Kareem, come on in, man. Terrence Mitchell, come on in, bro. I know you got a lot to say. Let's see who this is. Norman. I'm gonna try to see if I can get you invite Norman to join you on camera. Let's try this. All right, Norm. Y'all line up, man. Y'all come on in. David Pierce, come on in, bro. Norm, I'm listening, bro. We need to hear
Rico,
that.
my
What's
brother, how
happening, my
you
man?
doing, man? So good to see you. And
And,
man,
and
thank you for having this conversation, Doc. Kevin Samuels, like you say, his work will forever live on, and it was just so for how you and I have conversations. It was good just to
mm-hmm,
see a brother uh, was true, was living his truth, regardless of what the critics
mm-hmm.
tried to say about him or what they tried to do. And I just think it's a great example for brothers, man, who really still believe that a man should be a man.
Yeah, isn't that something? No,
You know what I'm saying?
we've lived so long. God
We
damn.
you know what I'm saying? It's like, but I think sometimes though with Kevin Samuels, you always hear people always talking about the conversation he would have about high level men. But one thing about Kevin Samuels that people overlook, I remember particularly a conversation that he had with a young lady, and she was talking about all the things that her father did for her, and how I guess she graduated from college with no loans, and how supportive he was. And Kevin Samuels checked her and said, "Okay, well, you had this great father. Why the same father that raised you? Why aren't you looking for that type of man to marry?"
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm
Exactly.
saying? So we often look at, and one thing I liked about Kevin, of course, we don't agree with
Of course
everything
not. That goes
somebody
without
said.
that goes without needing being said. Yeah.
Yeah. But the thing is, like I always, with these young ladies today, the conversation when we talk about Kevin Samuels, I would just try to remind them that he's just telling you what those men are looking for. It's not that
Exactly.
he's coming against you. This is what you say you want. This is what they say they need.
Exactly.
So man,
Exactly.
his work will forever. My wife, man, she loves Kevin Samuels,
Yeah.
and most most people who respected masculine men.
And marriage.
Rico, I don't know about you, but I'm tired of hearing about alpha men. I'm talking about men being men. You know what I'm saying? The way we were raised to be men. So it was refreshing to listen to this brother over the years, and I pray that his work lives on until eternity. You know,
Well,
rest in peace and condolences to his family.
and as for those of us who can recite everything he said, well, the assignment has been put upon us now to continue to spread it out there in our own, not try to be him, but in our own way.
No, definitely.
Because teaching is teaching.
You're doing it, man. Kudos to you, brother.
Well, thank you, man. And before you leave, I want to let everybody know, now Norman was one of my first friends I made as a freshman at Grambling State University.
Yes, sir.
He wasn't always this cool. I think he's gotten cooler, but he was cool then for a 19-year-old. He still sound the same, but of course he had more hair. He was 19.
Of course.
Future, bro. Norman was the man. Norman and Reggie, my two first freshman friends.
Yes, sir.
When I arrived at Pinchback, 11 o'clock a.m., 11:03 a.m. It was a Sunday morning, January 3rd. I made it up to the 5th floor with my stuff. And then I think that week is when I ran into you, and then I ran into Reggie.
Yes, sir.
And then after y'all two, it was just everybody else.
Everybody else.
Yeah, because these are my peeps, man. But appreciate you as always, man. Peace.
All right, keep doing good work, man.
Thank you, bro. Anybody else like to come on? And just share your thoughts. I want to hear what you think. Leo, what's up, man? Come on in here. Terrence Mitchell, I called you, bro. Come on in here. So I'd like to hear your thoughts on this whole Kevin Samuel thing, his passing and what he represented, and his teachings, his lessons, his presentation. What do you think about his presentation? What do you think about him? What do you think about his passing? Are you still in kind of like a lot of us, and kind of like numb, or kind of like in disbelief, or can't believe it? Like, dang. What do you think about the ugly comments that have been put out? They're all over. And are you like me? Look, and I'll say to everybody, y'all can keep your ugly comments on social media. I can't control that. But what I will not do is tolerate foolishness in person. And look, I ain't bigger than nothing, but one thing about it, I've been grown a long time, and just blatant disrespect for somebody who has not done anything to our race except for to express opinions that you didn't agree with, the opinions that you could tune out. Are you kidding me? No, we're not going to do that with this particular brother. Y'all ain't got nothing to say about Joe Biden's stinking ass. Y'all ain't got nothing to say about these old rats. So I want to hear what you have to say. Have anything to do with these people that make this terrible content? Like Mona Scott Young and all these folks that y'all seem to like who put out these terrible TV shows that got men tearing each other's cheeks up, women sucking each other's tongues out their faces, making dudes date trans chick dudes. But y'all ain't got nothing negative to say about that or them. You ain't got nothing to say about Kevin Samuels at all. Because what he talked about was building the black family and reuniting black men and black women. And he told black men, get your shit together. Sisters, you ain't all that you think you are. If you're not fit, feminine, cooperative, and nice, just nice, not just high value men or make them of a particular income or status bracket, but average men don't want to talk to you and deal with you. And I know the whole thing, there's somebody for everybody. We need to get past that. We need to make each other do the work, especially when we put down with this is who I want. Well, you, brother, are you the person that you think that she would want? You got your money together, your education, your character. Can you speak English? Have you groomed yourself? That's what Kevin Samuel talked about. And I don't understand how they got into all this other bullshit. He's a feminist. I mean, he's a misogynist. He's sexist. He degrades women. See, all that was a bunch of deflectionary bull crap to keep y'all from trying to hear his message. But see, when a man is given an assignment from somebody that does not own corporate America, this assignment came from above corporate America. Come on, somebody. You can't stop the message. You can't stop the flow. Mass media did not touch this man, but he became a societal icon just through Instagram, just through Facebook, just through YouTube. And a lot of men were jealous. And the agenda setters against the black community were enraged. So when he was done with his agenda, with the one who gave him his assignment, he said, okay, brother, nice, you good, let's go. Because all they want to do is hate on it. And they're going to continue to hate on you. Even people who are probably your friends just trying to be friends with you so they can hate on you. And so he understood. I got his assignment. I understood. Millions of others got his assignment. But I want to hear what you thought. Hit that little red button that's right there. And so I want to hear your thoughts on it. Because I can go on and on. Layla says, I'm hurt. I listen to him every day. He's the reason I'm losing weight. Right on. And he didn't tell you to lose weight because you were ugly, Layla, didn't he? He didn't tell you that you were not desirable. He told you, like, be the best you. If your goal is to do this, well, this is what you need to do. The women who heard him, heard him. Those who didn't want to hear him, heard bullshit. They wanted to put out a lie. Why people got to be stopped for saying what you don't agree with. And yes, I'm taking this to a particular personal space because I was in that space when I was a young man at Grambling, even in Memphis, even when I write on Facebook now. People want to see you. People are mad because you spoke, not because you were talking about people, but you were telling the truth that pierced through that wall of denial. And all this goes across to even what they're trying to do to comedians. I don't appreciate that. You walk on the stage and think you can attack somebody because you don't like the joke that was told. Why you even pay money to come see the comedian when you know they tell jokes? If you're that thin skinned, keep your thin skinned ass at home or go somewhere else. Go pay to be at a venue where the marquee says, here is a program where we kiss everybody's ass. That's where you need to be. Leela says, every time I wanted to give up, I heard Kevin Boyce saying, high value men don't want overweight women. And he ain't lying. They don't. And even though he's gone, high value men are still not going to want your mean spirit. They don't want you over 35. They still not going to want you. They still not going to want you overweight. They still not going to want you single motherhood with kids. They still not going to want you. So your best out is to lose weight, get your attitude together if you're over 35, and be nice and be sweeter to the mailman. Be nice and be sweeter to the man who come and fix your sink or fix the plumbing in your toilet. Be sweeter to the average or the blue-collar brother who makes $42,000 to $52,000, but he pays his bills. He doesn't have cheering all over the place. He's not all on drugs. Your issue is he doesn't make $150,000 plus, fool. But then you'll get with a Negro with his pants on his ass and got 3 baby mothers over this cat. Y'all, come on, ladies. Y'all get y'all psychology together. That's for the ladies over 35 and 40. Now, you young women, 22 to 33, y'all need to learn early. Mary Mack says, Kevin Sanders was the common sense that Black Mary has lost. Yeah, they were beat out of it. And y'all need to teach y'all young daughters, honey, your youth is your worth. Your beauty is your value. You can't ride the cock carousel or ride up and down a roller coaster all your young, pretty, tender, juicy, tangy young life and try to find a decent man when you get over 35. Y'all mean and shit. Your skin a little tough. You done had about 2 kids, about 3 different shitheads for baby daddies. You can't do that. When you're young and pretty is when a man who's doing well wants you. Y'all teach y'all daughters that. I'm gonna wait till I get my master's degree. Do y'all know what that kind of education does? It takes women out of their femininity, because nobody want no talking ass bitch at home either. Yeah, I said it. They don't. They don't want no talking ass female at home. Just right, brother, tell me this. What do you think about this? How about this? Shut the F, man, close your mouth and open it for the other reason. You hear me? Damn. They want them sweet, cook, nice. Ask y'all grandma how y'all kept your granddad all them years. And Granddad a lot of times had a woman and children on the other side of town. But one thing about it, nobody knew about nobody until the funeral, as old folks would say. So I want to talk to you. Henry Allen, man, hit me up. Let me see what you got to say, bro. Marcus Suter, what you got to say? Y'all hit me up. He said, tell the truth one day. Tell the truth, Rico. One day they'll listen. You know. That almost sound like the John Legend song. One day, when the war is won, it will be ours. It will be ours. Oh, one day. When the soldiers come, it will be ours. It will be ours. That's what it sounded like him when you said that. And Kevin spoke for his brothers. That's right. And that's why he got all that support. And a lot of people are mad about it. But I want to hear your thoughts. Y'all hit me on the little button there. I want to hear your thoughts on Kevin Samuels. What do you think? What are your thoughts? Talk to me. You know, and y'all go on these, y'all listen to your local radio station. All of a sudden, if they're speaking on them, and then all of a sudden, now just the day before, D.L. Hughley was mad, or he gonna say, when Kevin says you're over 35, a lot of times y'all, when you're over 35, based on what he was talking about, the women who are trying to find high value men. Well, hell, a lot of y'all kind of throw away. No, but this is what he said. But it was in context. Go here. You can hear exactly what he said. And I understood what he said. And those women understood what he said. That's why it hit so hard for them. You know, I think for the one lady, there's the goodwill. And one chick was just a raspy voice, old face, smart mouth, and overweight, saying, well, what do I need to do to make myself to be valuable to high value men? He said, become reincarnated. Because she was just out of there talking about what men that she didn't want. Talking about she didn't want an average man. Ma'am, you were less than average. So he broke through that arrogance and that ego of a lot of women. You know, he broke through the ego. That's what pissed off. Y'all don't understand the gynocracy, the funded, misandrous, anti-black male gynocracy that's been ruling the black community, the black race for all these years. And again, I want to say to the women who say, well, I ain't like that. That ain't me. I need y'all to start making YouTube posts, channels, and talk about this. Hold on a second. I'm going to let this truck go by. And I don't want to yell and lose my voice. All right. Because I am outside enjoying the weather. I'm going to go jogging in a minute. But yeah, he told the truth. And so, let's continue to celebrate what the brother was saying and continue to celebrate him. Because one thing about death is definite. It's so messed up how that thing works. You know, and we need to start giving people what their flowers while they live. And all these, you know, talking about after they live. Again, like D.L. Hughley want to mention him on his page all of a sudden. And everybody knew who he was, but nobody want to have him on the platform. You're going to do a whole show, D.L. Hughley, talking about his comments, but why didn't you invite the actual man on for about an hour to field questions and talk to him? See, all that's programming. No, we don't want this black man on the show that's really teaching our people how we can come back to each other. No, we want to give him this shine. You know, they like to shut out black men with that kind of voice. But a Negro talking about, you know, what Steve Harvey's talking about, and John Gaskins and Derek Jackson, those Negroes that line the women can be on all of the platforms. And women still ain't got no better. But again, Kevin Samuels pierced a piece of women's psychology that Minister Farrakhan, that Dr. Umar Johnson couldn't do, Tony Gaskin, T.D. Jakes, Fred Price, even your local preachers here in Dallas, your local preachers in any city where you live could not do. They tried all that other stuff, beating around the bush to get to the problem of what's going on in the black family, black community. But Kevin Samuels went there. He said, well, let me go into the psychology of the women. He even risked not making any money or being talked crazy because they know that they're a protected class. white zaddy protects, got them as viewed as a unofficial protected class. The next thing is going to put out an anti-black woman hate law, crime bill. And all I say, brothers, get your passport. That's what's next, but unofficially, because as one woman said, y'all just mad because we're looked at as powerful because we're the top consumers. A lady actually said that she bragged about, black woman bragged about being a shopper. Bragged about getting a pat on the back for being a shopper. Ain't nobody jealous of you giving your money away to people who historically never liked you except when you open your legs, you stupid heifer. Ain't nobody jealous of that. Give us something to be jealous about. Anybody jealous about nobody who spends $10 billion on hair that belongs to another race of women? Ain't nobody jealous of that. Ain't nobody jealous of a group of women who are less than 30% ever going to be married. Ain't nobody jealous of that. Ain't nobody jealous of women who got more lesbian and homosexual experience in their life than average women in the country. Ain't nobody jealous of that. Ain't nobody jealous of that. Ain't nobody jealous of a group of women who has the highest numbers of STDs. Ain't nobody jealous of that. Ain't nobody jealous of it. Ain't nobody jealous of a woman who can't even tell you who her third or the second baby daddy is. Ain't nobody jealous of that. Ain't nobody jealous of that. So y'all need to quit saying who jealous of you. Ain't nobody jealous of the woman who is the heaviest of all the groups of racial women. Ain't nobody jealous of that. Ain't nobody jealous of that. So y'all, so those of you who say stuff like that, black men just jealous of women's accomplishments. Ain't nobody jealous of people who are given a free ride, and then they pretend they're not given a free ride. Ain't nobody jealous of that. Whoo, ain't nobody jealous of that. And sisters, I love you. I'm talking to the brain dead, arrogant, feminist, egotistical, maniacal, Napoleonic jackass black women. I am responding to you. Ain't nobody jealous of that. You're jealous that you are jealous that black men, even in our lowest, we're still valued and desired by women in the race and women in other races. Don't nobody desire black women, and y'all jealous of that. But I don't want to continue this back and forth because y'all will lose every time. Because we're men, goddammit. I don't care what that white zaddy has told you about us. We're still men, and we still do what men do, and you're jealous of that. Even if we on crack, even if we fucked up, black men still make it happen. You know how many alcoholic black men, you know how many black men on crack, black men on heroin, is still able to provide for families, give women money. Black men selling dope and teenage boys giving money and giving their lives up to help their single mama who couldn't at least do her job to have one daddy for one child. Not living in the ghetto, you got 5 kids with 6 different baby dads, and that boy felt like he's supposed to look out for his mama and his sisters, risked his life in the 80s. That's why a lot of them in jail because of you. You want to say who's fucking jealous of you? You want to let black men sit there dumbass right here and say the black woman is God when it's the black man who been behaving as God ever since he was 8 fucking years old? To make sure you are protected, make sure you're fed, to make sure you're housed and clothed with his life. But we're jealous of you, and you dumbass dudes calling black women gods. You dumbass. The black male is God. Under all of these pressures and stressors, under all these systematic pounding that we take, he still rises through the ashes like a phoenix. Build a fence, oh Lord. Show us thy light. That's who God is. Until y'all get back into your feminine nature, Kevin Samuels, I'm going to tell them, bro. Get back into your feminine nature, you'll still be on the bottom of every fucking thing. No, Matika, bitch. You're not goddess. If you wouldn't be able to become a mother if you didn't have my dick in your body, whore. So get the fuck off my page talking that stupid shit. We make it possible for you. We made it possible for you to exist. So you can get your ass off my page with that. I don't know you. You can get the fuck on, bitch. And I'm not playing with y'all today. I'm not here for it. You can go. Anybody else got something smart to say? We can say it. But be careful. Now I'll take your comments here. I meant what I said. You're not a god. Because gods don't have tattoos on their own, all their goddamn necks. They don't wear, a god doesn't wear the hair of peasants. A god doesn't get butt injections. A goddess doesn't wear, go and get fake contacts in her damn eyes. A goddess doesn't have more than one god as her motherfucking father, her children, retard. So no, you're not. And there you go with that shit. A god don't sit around and look here. Again, we're about bringing the black family together, but you're not gonna silence me. I'm gonna tell the goddamn truth. The black male has made it possible for you to have your smart mouth ass here on this planet. Talking about you need protection. How you think you got here? The black male has thrown his body in front of bullets, neck on ropes, and prisons and every damn thing else. Gone crazy and everything else so you can go. Even in the movie, man, look. The black male is so disrespected, unprotected, disregarded, discarded. Y'all take that one quote from 50, 60 years old from Malcolm X and think it still pertains to today? No. He was talking to the women in the nation. The most disrespected group is black males because women aren't a threat to white supremacy. And Jessica, how you feel about your mammy, ho? Don't ask me about my mama. And you getting the fuck off here too, bitch. I'm telling you, I'm not playing with you hoes today. Block. You out of here too. Anybody else got a smart fucking question? It's easy. I can just block your funk ass after I cuss you out. Don't ask me about my mother. My mother don't act like you hoes. My mother's a lady. She came up in the era of women with ladies. She came up in the 50s and 60s where black women were ladies. She wasn't born in no motherfucking 90. She wasn't born in Gen X. She wasn't born in 70 nothing. My mother's a lady. So ask me about that. Anybody think they're finna come with that feminist rhetoric, you're getting the fuck blocked off here. Or you can bring your ass on here. Because we're talking about Kevin Samuels. Don't make it about me. So come on in. I want to hear what you got to say. I got a couple more minutes. Okay. I guess that's it. And so Henry Allen, everybody, thank you so much. Well, at least Henry called me when I hang this up. And Mary Maxim, well, we talked earlier, but you don't be too far behind. So I'm going to go ahead. Rest in peace. Rest in power. A man of high value, Kevin Samuels. We appreciate you, brother, when you was here. And we appreciate the message that you left. We appreciate the instructions that you left. And we'll continue to be spread. We won't be forgotten. Be cool, man. And everybody who respected and admired this brother, keep spreading the word, because the thing is, the ultimate goal is to bring the black family together, but we have to work on each other and tell the truth. And Kevin was telling the truth to the women, and women didn't like that. And so that means we have to teach our young men, if you care about black boys, you will arm them to be men and not just sycophants and slaves to women. Because you see, women don't teach their daughters to be submissive and feminine and sweet to men, to your sons. So why the hell are you teaching these men to be effeminate and submissive to these daughters? It's retarded. Don't tell them, and stop teaching your sons to protect somebody who has no interest in protecting them. And of course, not all. But y'all be cool. We'll talk later. Henry Allen, call me, man, when this live goes off. Talk to y'all later. Peace, y'all. Rest in peace, Kevin Samuels.